There you go. Okay.
There's a red light on.
Okay. Is there a red light on?
Yes.
Just show you the last thing shot. There's, you're on. Okay.
Can I
Do
see
you see
that
the last?
hatch on there?
Does it show Joseph or?
No. Nope.
I'm gonna cry.
That button right
Let's see.
Okay, now.
Red. I am still.
David Kennedy, Alexander Kennedy's brother. This rifle was made by Alexander Kennedy. These two boys produced fine rifles. Both lived in North Carolina. Alexander died in North Carolina, 1829. Now David Kennedy, he came to Lauderdale County, Alabama, where this movie's being made, and died here in 1837. These rifles were quite famous all through the years and were used in battles, were used to defense of homesteads, even all kind of Indian situations, and made quite a history for themselves. Now, I doubt if you think this pouch will show up in the movie here?
Yes.
Well, this pouch goes with the rifle and the powder horn and the bullet mold. All these accessories was necessary to load and shoot this gun. You think would it take a close-up of this right here if you
I'll try.
come close up on it?
That's as close as I can get.
It is?
Yeah.
Well, you would never read then.
No.
Couldn't read it. Now in this rifle, this is called a patch box. Is that going to show up pretty good?
Yes.
All right, and inside this patch box, there's a small lever on this opposite side of the stock that can be flipped, and that opens this door up. And inside this door is tallow. This tallow was a lubricant that was used to lubricate a cloth patch that was put around the ball as the ball was pushed down the barrel. And this rifle is a flintlock mechanism. In the jaws of this hammer is a piece of flint. And this flint struck against this metal piece here, which is known as a fritzen, and created the spark that went down into the pan to ignite the powder charge. The bore on this gun is about a .45 caliber, which would be quite impressive, would handle any North American game or any type of critter maybe giving you trouble around your home.
Are these guns similar to the guns that were used in the Revolutionary War?
Very, very, very similar. In fact, this rifle, you couldn't tell a bit of difference between this gun and one used in the Revolutionary War. Although other noted collectors have told me that this rifle was made about 1800 by Alexander in Moore County, North Carolina. Rifles have architecture just like homes do. Whether it be a home, it'd be a federal period or something that would be in some other period of style. Rifles have architecture. And this rifle has Moore County architecture. Any rifles made around Moore County, whether they were made by the Kennedy family or not, have about this same architecture. And that's because that all of them were influenced by John Alexander Kennedy, who was the father of Alexander and David.
John Alexander Kennedy.
John Alexander Kennedy, born 1737 or 39, something like that.
Is that's the same John Alexander Kennedy who produced guns for the
Revolutionary War.
Revolutionary
That's
War,
right.
as well
In Pennsylvania.
in Philadelphia,
In Philadelphia.
as well as swords.
That's right. They've always said he was a sword maker.
And who has other Alexander Kennedy rifles?
A man named Bill Ivey, Alexander and David, and then a man named Neil Davison. Neil Davison has a rifle exactly like this, except it's engraved. It's all engraved, and with just a little higher quality made rifle. It's exactly like it in every detail, and it's signed A. Kennedy. So we know that's Alexander Kennedy. Far side of this stock, like it is, Okay, there's only one other gun that's got this release on it, and it's an A Kennedy that they know is John Alexander's gun. There's a rifle that belongs to Aaron Caples. Aaron bought it to give $8,000 for it from Mike Inger. Mike Inger had it. He gave Mike $8,000 for it. It's signed on top of the barrel A Kennedy. Well, they always wondered whether that was old Alexander or young Alexander, but it was old Alexander because the gun's so much older. It just it's they know that it's older, and it's got this same release right here. Is what this little release on the side of the.
What would be the appraisal value of this Alexander Kennedy gun?
Well, I paid about $3,600 for this probably 10 years ago. So it's going to be worth considerable more than that.
And a signed David Kennedy
Well,
rifle.
I paid $3,000 for that rifle probably 15 years ago. So I think the museum here had it appraised at $9,000. I mean, they got their insurance on it at $9,000, which is probably. And Aaron Caples give $8,000 for one not long ago. So I mean, it's just whatever anybody wants to ask for one. That's what it is. That's how you determine the market. Just whatever anybody wants to ask, and then who will pay it.
I'm coming.
There's always been a story told that Alexander Kennedy was a merchant, and no mention hardly was ever made of him being a riflesmith. But there's documents that have been turned up in the archives where Alexander even owned a boring mill and had bought a boring mill in 1815 over on what's the name of it?
Mechanics Hill.
Yeah, Mechanics Hill. And what's the name of that river? Deep River. It's Deep River, isn't it? And he had a boring mill. And then they've even stretched the story a little further to say that Alexander Kennedy had caused the whole downfall of the family to go broke. But there's also been documents turned up and found in the archives that when Alexander died in 1829, there's all pretty wealthy men. To the fact that when Hiram Kennedy, one of David's sons, came here, Hiram had over 30 slaves and eventually owned over 2,000 acres here in Lauderdale County. So for people that were broke, I've never found any indication of them really being broke myself. They're always pretty wealthy people.